Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dalescenter, live from the heart of America, and I am your host, Dale Tanhart. Lines at the bottom of your screen, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. And we're going to start with the XFINITY series, which, let's just be real, guys, the lines suck. The odds are terrible. The odds are really, really bad for the NASCAR XFINITY series at Richmond. We know Chandler Smith is really good here. He won in a Colleague car in 2023. That's how good he is at Richmond, because we know Colleague. We talk about where the program's at, whether it's Cup or Xfinity, not performing well. Certainly seems like they're off compared to prior years. A huge weakness of theirs has been on a short track like a Richmond. AJ Allmendinger has not been great here, even though he did score top 5 in 2022, last time he was full-time in the Xfinity series. But before that, was not great for AJ, and it has not been great for the rest of the Colleague fleet, for the most part, at this type of racetrack. And in 2024, you got to look at Phoenix, right? Got to look at Phoenix as an potential early indication of what we might see at Richmond. Chandler Smith was great. Justin Allgaier was great. Should have won the race until he blew a tire with 2 to go, which is crazy. You rarely see that type of shit happen. So Phoenix is a good place to start when it comes down to finding a similar type of racetrack to compare when we head into Richmond this weekend. And before the last few years, it's really been a Toyota type of playground. I mean, Richmond has been known to be dominated by the Toyotas. Chandler Smith and Junior Motorsports have kind of put a halt to that. Now, look, Junior Motorsports, the races were won by Allgaier in 2020 when there was no qualifying. And Justin Allgaier clearly unloaded with the best car in 2020 because they did a doubleheader at Richmond. The COVID deal threw off the schedule. They did a Richmond doubleheader with no qualifying, no practice, and Justin Allgaier had the best car both days, and he just ran through the field. And then Noah Gragson won in 2021. And other than that, Toyota has been great here, leading a lot of laps. Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek had a great race here in 2022 when Gibbs did the bump and run on his teammate. Typical Ty Gibbs move. You love to see it. You hate to see it if you're not a Ty Gibbs fan. Nonetheless, we don't want to get off topic here. We're jumping right into it. I don't like any outrights that are the favorites right now. Chandler Smith, 3-1, 4-1 on most books. Justin Allgaier right behind him. Eric Almirola, 6.5-1. Do we trust that? I don't think so. I don't think we can trust that with how Almirola has been so far in a Gibbs car. A lot of people thought at Vegas this would be a guy that would come out and dominate the young guns in this series. It did not happen, and it was not even close. Eric Almirola won that road course race back last year at Sonoma, which shocked the world. But in his few starts this season has not impressed yet. So I don't think I can bet Eric Almirola 6.5-1, right? We're looking at this list right now. As I said, lines courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. Doesn't mean they're the best lines. They're just the easiest to put at the bottom of the screen. As I said, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer typically is right up here every single week, the defending champion. Former winner at Richmond in the Xfinity Series before he went Cup racing. He's there sitting at 5-1. Sheldon Creed in a Gibbs car, 9-1. Hasn't been great at Richmond in his career. Not his best track. I don't think I can bet a 9-1 on Sheldon Creed right now either. Then you've got Allmendinger, Riley Herbst. I think Riley Herbst is interesting here. If there's something that gets me close, it's finding a 4 or 5-1 top 3 bet on Riley Herbst. Had really good speed at Phoenix before problems late in that race. Has had really good speed all year, just hasn't gotten all the finishes. He's only got one top 5, and that was at Vegas. Everything else, he's had a lot of bad luck. But we know, based on how he finished his season in 2023, he's confident and he's got that same speed to begin 2024. Just got to get the finishes. So Riley Herbst, don't like the top 5 unless you can give me better than 2.5-1. Top 3, not worth it unless you can give me 4-1, maybe 5-1. DraftKings is showing 4-1 for a top 3 on Riley Herbst. Other books in the same ballpark. I'm looking at BetMGM plus 375. Keep BetMGM on your mind here because I just tweeted it. I just teased it. There's a steal bet, guys, on BetMGM I'm about to get to, and I've already bet it. But we'll get to that in a minute once I go down this board. Then you got Jesse Love and Austin Hill. Somebody already said it in the chat. When in doubt, Austin Hill top 3. We're looking at 4-1, 4.5-1 on a lot of books. Once again, talk about not a great track for some guys. This is not a great RCR track, and it hasn't been a great track for Austin Hill. If there's one place where he's struggled, I guess it's more so on the short tracks rather than the mile and a halves and the road courses where he's made unbelievable improvements throughout his NASCAR career. Now, I am worried about the RCR equipment. It seems like it is their theme to struggle at this type of track, whether it's the Cup Series or the Xfinity Series. I mean, they struggle, and there's no question about it, especially when you compare to what Joe Gibbs brings to Richmond Raceway, whether it's Cup or Xfinity as well, where Stewart Haas, based on what they bring, Stewart Haas has gotten to a point where they're good everywhere, it seems like. RCR, Kryptonite, is on this style of racetrack. No question about it. Austin Hill and his teammate Jesse Love, the rookie, hot shot, sitting around 14-1, 15-1 on most books. I don't want to touch either one of them because I could see someone like Austin Hill qualifying not well. And when we see a huge discrepancy in qualifying speed, maybe you can get an Austin Hill ticket more like 20-1. And that's a situation where Austin Hill's Austin Hill. I tweeted last week, there's just no one that finds a way better than Austin Hill. He is the king of just finding a way to put himself in a winning position at tracks where you wouldn't even expect him. In Exhibit A last week at COTA. Who the hell would have seen that coming? Austin Hill bettors would have. There's a lot of people that will just bet on Austin Hill no matter what. And if they bet properly, they got a top 3 out of it. But with all that being said, we're going to keep going down the board. I think with a lot of these guys, we got to wait till practice and qualifying. Sam Mayer, 16-1. He's had a terrible start to the season. He has a podium finish here before at Richmond, a top 3. And you got to believe in the kid's talent. You got to believe in the kid's talent. As I said, Junior Motorsports has been the team that's dethroned Toyota over the past few years at this racetrack. And he's going to be in a fast number 1 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet. And you got to expect him to turn it around at some point. Now, I don't know if he's going to come out here and win. I don't know if he's going to come out here and be quicker than a Chandler Smith or a Justin Allgaier or a Cole Custer. But Sam Mayer, to me, is intriguing at 16-1, 18-1 because of the start of his season being so bad. It seems like every single book continues to sleep on him. 18-1, 18-1, 20-1, every single week. And at some point, Sam Mayer is going to win, right? It's going to happen. The kid is too good. He had a breakout year in 2023, particularly on the road courses. But he found a way at a couple other tracks as well and knocked on the door at a few other tracks as well, something like Homestead. But look, here's the deal. Sam Mayer, 18-1, 20-1, I feel like is something that can be considered a good bet at almost any track we go to just because of the talent and the race car with this kid, Sam Mayer. He's going to turn it around at some point. So keep an eye on that. Maybe if there's one outright that's outside of the favorites you could look at, maybe it's a Sam Mayer ticket because I feel like it's good value. And the second he wins, you're not going to see him at 16-1 anymore unless you have a lot of Cup regulars dip down in the Xfinity Series. Taylor Gray making his Xfinity Series debut, I believe, in a Gibbs car. This is an interesting one, too, because this is a guy I've been super high on in the Truck Series. He's had a great start to the year in the Craftsman Truck Series, and he's really good at the short tracks. It's kind of a wild card. I don't know what to expect with Taylor Gray. I don't know if he's going to come out here and struggle. I don't know if he's going to come out here and be a Ty Gibbs, who won in his first ever Xfinity Series start. Now, look, that may be a little too far-fetched. I'm not saying he's going to be a Ty Gibbs because historically no one's done what Ty Gibbs has done in his march to the Cup Series. But this is a kid that's talented, 18-1, 20-1 range. Maybe there's an eye there. I would wait until practice and qualifying. But also, on the flip side of that, I think Toyota's going to qualify really well in their entire fleet. I think the Sam Hunt cars are going to be pretty good, and I think the Gibbs cars are going to be good. And if they qualify up in the top 10, someone like Taylor Gray, you could see those odds diminish if he shows speed in qualifying and in practice as well. So I'm kind of flippity-floppity on all this. I'm not betting it. I'm just giving my insight and what I think when I see these odds for someone like a Taylor Gray. Now, Sammy Smith, next up on the board, 20-1. The books are kind of sleeping on Junior Motorsports entirely. I mean, you've got 3 JRM drivers, 20-1 or higher. Bubba Pollard, of course, is a guy driving the number 88, making, I don't know if it's his debut or not, but we know Bubba Pollard is a short track legend, a guy that has an enormous amount of accolades in the short track game, and he's in a fast Junior Motorsports Chevrolet. So keep an eye on him. Most books have him at 20-1, 22-1. I'm willing to wait because I feel like there's an opportunity. I feel like you're going to get 20-1 after practice and after qualifying. I don't think he's going to come out here and light everybody up in practice and qualifying before race time. So Bubba Pollard is a guy to keep an eye on, practice, just see what he does on the long run, how he adapts to this race car versus what he typically drives. But obviously everybody wants to make the comparison to Josh Berry at Martinsville spring of 2021 when he just came out 80 to 1, 100 to 1 guy, and no practice, no qualifying. Josh Berry just ran through the field and won that race at Martinsville, which was crazy. So everybody wants to use that as a comparison for a guy like Bubba Pollard. So keep an eye on him. I'm willing to wait, but when I see 20 to 1, 22 to 1 for someone like him, Sammy Smith, who's in Josh Berry's car. Josh Berry in the 8 car was really good here just about every time he came to Richmond. Yeah, different driver. A guy that's an awesome short track racer, but Sammy Smith is a kid that's talented in a fast car, similar to Sam Mayer. I think he's going to win at some point in 2024, and then you're not going to see 20 to 1 again for the rest of the season unless there's Cup guys that come down into the series. And that's really all I'm looking at. Once you get past Brandon Jones at 28 to 1, someone that I'm an idiot for even betting on this year. I mean, what am I doing? Why am I believing in Brandon Jones, people? Can anybody tell me why I continue to try to find a reason to bet on Brandon Jones in a fast junior motorsports Chevrolet that Noah Gragson won 700 races in his time, and then you put Brandon Jones in the car, and it's been just abysmal. And is it the Menards commercial? Is that what it is? No, that Menards commercial. If anything, the Menards commercial makes me less inclined to bet on Brandon Jones. But if you're interested, he's sitting at 28, 30 to 1 range. Don't think I can do it. But I just know at some point, this guy's going to come out, just like I said about the other 2 junior motorsports kids, which Brandon Jones, he's young, but it feels like he's been in the Xfinity series for 39 years. I mean, holy shit. He's been in this series for way too long, and he hasn't won in 2 years. He's going to come out here and he's going to win a race this year. I just know it. He's going to sneak up and he's going to win something. I don't know when it is. I don't know. I think it's going to be at a flat track. Brandon Jones typically does better at flat tracks than, and not as much Richmond. Mainly flat intermediates. Brandon Jones has been better at than a track like Richmond, but I can't do it. Anyway, my point here is, as I go off on this tangent on Brandon Jones, it just makes my blood boil. Anger issues, 28 to 1, and then there's a steep drop off to Parker Kligerman, Corey Heim, Parker Retzlaff, everybody else. Matt DiBenedetto's in this race. You've probably seen his name pop up. I don't know if anybody knew that or not, but Matt DiBenedetto is back in the number 38 car for Viking Racing. Is that who it is? I don't know who they get their power from. I think it's I thought it was Sieg affiliated, which is Stuart Haas, SHR affiliated. Regardless, Matt DiBenedetto trending around 80 to 100 to 1. But there's one thing we're going to look at here, and I'm going to do a screen share to show you what I have bet. It's the only thing I've bet for the Xfinity Series thus far. And it is a steal, and you need to get it while you can because it will not last. Welcome to BetMGM, a big-time piece of shit app. Look, it is. I'm sorry, it is. Luckily, I have a kiosk next door to me, and it's better. It's better, but not great. But the app is very clunky. But with NASCAR betting, man, they always have something that just blows my mind when I see it. TOYOTACARE 250 for the Xfinity Series. Here's your winner, here's your top 3, and here's your top 5. And let's scroll down to top 5. And let's look at this guy. Corey Heim is 11 to 1 for a top 5 in a Sam Hunt Racing Toyota. Now you're thinking, oh, Sam Hunt, not that good. Okay, well, first of all, 2 things. Number 1, Sam Hunt Racing, last 3 Richmond races, has 2 top 5s. One with Kaz Grala and one with John Hunter Nemechek in the number 26 Toyota Camry. That is what Corey Heim is driving this weekend, and we think Corey Heim is about as talented as someone like John Hunter Nemechek, right? I mean, now Kaz Grala, I think there was a situation last race where, while he was good, probably ran top 10 a lot of the race, you had some late race pandemonium that could have helped Kaz Grala score top 5, even though he had pretty good results throughout a lot of 2023. But Corey Heim, we think, is a guy that could be a generational talent. We've seen what he has done in the Truck Series. 11 to 1 for top 5. Just for reference, All these other books have 5-1, 4-1 for a top 5 for Corey Heim. 5-1, 5.5-1, 6-1. This is a massive discrepancy. Massive discrepancy. 11-1. You have to find this and you have to bet it. I'm not betting 6-1. No chance. I'm not betting 5-1. No chance. 11-1. This is just this is a fuck up, guys. This is a mistake, and you got to take it while you can. I've already got a unit on it at 11-1, and it might be my full card. I mean, it really might be my full card heading into the weekend. So I just want to make sure you see it right up here. 11-1 Corey Heim is available right now on BetMGM, and after you watch this, I know it's going to get hammered down. So get it while you can. Had to show you that. That's my favorite bet of the weekend. Not just because of what Sam Hunt's done at Richmond, but because this is clearly a mistake, and BetMGM is sleeping big time. So there you go. That is my favorite bet for the Xfinity Series heading into the weekend. Now, one important stat to note when it comes to Richmond in the Xfinity Series. When you look at Cup, 4 of the last 6 Richmond races have been won by a guy that started outside the top 10. Something I said on Eric E. Steps Out of the Groove earlier this week. If you guys tune into that and watch that, I appreciate the hell out of you, and I hope you enjoyed the segment. When you come to Xfinity, it's a totally different game. Now, remember I mentioned Justin Allgaier in 2020 who won that Richmond doubleheader when he just clearly had the best car, no practice, no qualifying, mowed through the field. He started 14th in one, and he started 16th in the other race because they did some kind of inverted formula with the starting lineup. Crazy to think about now, but they would invert the lineup, or they would invert the finishing results from race 1, and that's how they'd set the lineup for race 2, something like that. He started outside the top 10 in both those races and won them both. But he had, like I said, he had the best car, and it just was not even close. Outside of that, that is your anomaly, both those 2020 races. Outside of that, 20 races in a row at Richmond in the Xfinity Series have been won by a driver that started inside the top 10. 20 in a row. I don't even count those in 2020 because there was no practice, there was no qualifying. You had the best car, you mowed through the field. That is an anomaly to me when it comes to the trend of starting position. We've got practice back, we've got qualifying back, and this is a solid rock-hard statistic right here. 20 in a row outside of those 2020 doubleheader races. 20 in a row have been won in the Xfinity Series, have been won by a driver that started inside the top 10. So that's why practice and qualifying should be taken very, very seriously this weekend. And you shouldn't go hammer everything before we get to practice and qualifying, particularly for the Xfinity Series, because track position is key here at Richmond. With how the cars are, with just generally with how the racing is, it's very, very tough to pass. And I expect it to be that way on Saturday afternoon. So keep an eye on that. And I got one bet that I might place before the race, or before practice and qualifying, outside of my Corey Heim bet that's already locked in. And that is Riley Herbst over AJ Allmendinger. This line's available on multiple books. DraftKings has Herbst at minus 110 as the underdog in this spot, while AJ is minus 120. I'm going to check that real quick, refresh, make sure that it hasn't changed. Still there. Riley Herbst minus 110 against AJ Allmendinger. As I said, this is kind of a track where Colleague has struggled more than they would at a road course, intermediate, or a super speedway. AJ finished 4th here in 2022, but Riley Herbst has had awesome speed at this track type since 2023. As I said, if you look at his stats from 2024, he hasn't gotten all the finishes he has truly deserved when he's had top 5 runs, top 3 speed, and portions of these technical races. I like Riley Herbst in this spot, head-to-head. I think after qualifying, there's a chance you don't see this anymore, and you see Riley Herbst as a favorite. He's had good prior success at Richmond as well. While it's a little off because he's been crashed before, he's had top 5 speed here in that SHR number 98 Mustang, and I expect top 5 speed again from Riley Herbst, a guy that really needs it, considering hasn't gotten all the finishes with a lot of bad luck. The speed is there, and I think the confidence is there. Riley Herbst over AJ Allmendinger at minus 110, I think could be worth a unit. I think it could be worth a unit and a quarter heading into practice and qualifying. So just to recap, short recap on 2 bets that I like. one that's already in, and one that I'm really considering putting in, which is Riley Herbst over AJ Allmendinger to go with my Corey Heim 11-1 ticket on BetMGM. Get it while you can because it will be gone at some point soon. Now, moving on. I'm going to change the lines at the bottom of your screen here to the Cup Series. Toyota owners 400 odds, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. But before we get into the odds, we've got some props to talk about. Qualifying is where I want to start first. Once again, these are leans. Remember, for the most part, I fucking suck at qualifying bets. I mean, historically, we do. We got hot last year. We've hit a couple this year. Should have hit more than that because I told you guys to bet on Michael McDowell at Atlanta to win the pole. And he won the pole, and I didn't bet on it because I was hesitant. So we should actually be having a better start in qualifying bets in 2024, but I'm a dipshit. I'm a guy with a mullet in the heart of America, a.k.a. South Mississippi. What would you expect? But we're going to talk about some qualifying bets. I'm looking at Bet Rivers at this point in time. I haven't spent a lot of time shopping the lines when it comes to Bet Rivers Caesars, because you know Caesars probably has qualifying. Bet360 can't talk. Bet365 is a book that's going to have odds on qualifying. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Caesars right now just to see if we can find some discrepancies together on fastest qualifier odds. Pull them up right here. So when you compare to Bet Rivers, and look, I got 4 guys I'm looking at to win the pole. I'm looking at Kyle Larson. Now, Hendrick Motorsports has not raced amazing here. You know, I talked about William Byron earlier this week. I've already got a bet on William Byron at 12-1, which was courtesy of Caesar Sportsbook. He's been good here in the spring. Kyle Larson did win here in the spring of 2023. Definitely some strategy helped out with that when a caution came out in the middle of a green flag cycle. That changed the complete outcome of the race, and it helped someone like Kyle Larson. Josh Berry finished second because of that caution that came out in the middle of a green flag run, because a lot of the leaders had gotten lapped. Someone like Josh Berry stayed out to just hope for a caution, and he got it. And it completely flipped the field, and that helped Kyle Larson get to victory lane because he had a better stop on pit road and took the green flag, got the lead, and ran away with it. Now, other than that, an Alex Bowman win in 2021 is a Hendrick Motorsports win to go to that tally as well. But before that, Hendrick Motorsports had not won at Richmond in like 13 years. I mean, this place had been dominated by Toyota and Penske. And I know I'm going to go down this rabbit hole. I'm going to stop myself because I'm getting into talking about the race. I'm trying to stick with qualifying. Hendrick has qualified well here. Hendrick has been qualifying decently at Richmond. They've qualified better than they've raced overall in the Gen 7 era. And Kyle Larson on Bet Rivers is 7.5-1 to win the pole. He's qualified well in 2024. We know he has the potential to be a Rocket Man type of guy. I think while the books are overvaluing Denny Hamlin, they've got Bell and Truex. Now, they're not overvaluing William Byron, who I think is the best qualifier in the field collectively and will probably have a shot at the pole. But he's 5.5-1. I don't love that. He won the pole last week. You don't see drivers win the pole twice in a row very often in the Cup Series anymore, so I'm going to kind of ride with the trend of the difficulty to go back-to-back. I think Kyle Larson, 7.5-1, is a good first bet to put in for Cup qualifying on Saturday morning, about 24 hours from now exactly. So that's my first bet. I got 3 more guys for you. Tyler Reddick, 8-1. Won the pole here last fall. We're going to keep it as simple as that. They had speed. 2311 did. I'm not big on Reddick during the race as much because this is a track he's really struggled at throughout his career, even though he was trending to have a good race in the fall of 2023 before he had a pit road penalty, a commitment line violation late in that one that completely ruined his race. Regardless, he qualified on the pole. And we know Tyler Reddick is a great qualifier, and he surprised a lot of people by getting the pole at a track that he has not been great at. And he's sitting at 8-1 on Bet Rivers. And on Caesars, also 8-1. Ooh, Kyle Larson. Nope, he's also 7.5-1 on Caesars. So that's 2 guys. Third guy, Ty Gibbs. I feel like I'm betting something on Ty Gibbs every single week. And that's going to have to just continue. 8-1 to win the pole on Bet Rivers. We know the Toyota fleet's going to be fast. We know Ty Gibbs has qualified well and raced well just about every week this season. And Bristol was a track where he didn't qualify his best because he had just wrecked in practice. And I don't even think they had gotten the car fixed before they hit the track for qualifying. Other than that, Ty Gibbs has had electric speed all season long. 8-1 to win the pole. Count me in. And then my final guy to win the pole in the 2311 camp, Bubba Wallace, 25-1. Now this actually opened. I looked earlier this week. This actually opened at 35-1. So there's actually been a little bit of movement with Bubba Wallace. He qualified 5th at Richmond last fall. We've seen Bubba and the 2311 boys qualify really, really well. And a lot of times they've qualified better than they've actually raced. And Richmond is a prime example of that. And I think just based upon looking at that right there, the fact that both 2311 cars qualified in the top 5 last fall at this track, they are both worth a sprinkle for qualifying bets on Saturday morning. So just to recap, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and Ty Gibbs. 4 guys to win the pole on Saturday morning. Let's fucking ride. Now I want to talk about some manufacturer props that I discussed a little bit about on Eric E. Steps Out of the Groove earlier this week. I know I've mentioned that a lot over the past couple days. And once again, I appreciate you guys. Fucking voice crack, man. You can't have voice cracks like that. It'd be incredible. We gotta quit with the voice cracks. Fuck. I just ruined all my energy. We're gonna get it back here though because I want to talk about top Ford bets. I'm gonna get them pulled up on a couple different books here just to kind of see and compare. But this is one of those bets where you're not gonna be missing a lot of value. You're not gonna be missing on a lot of value depending on what book you use. A lot of people don't have BetMGM. A lot of people don't have like a Bet365. A lot of people may not have like a BetRivers, which BetRivers, I never see manufacturer odds up anyway. But let's go to top Ford. You can get every single SHR car to be the top Ford at better than 10-1, no matter what book you look at. I'm going to go to DraftKings, BetMGM. I'm going to pull all these up and just compare and make sure we verify that. Now, I know Chris Buescher won here fall of 2023, and we love him so much for that because it was my highlight of 2023 because I had Chris Buescher at 80-1. Cheers if you got to tail that last year. That was an incredible bet. And we know RFK is probably going to be good. Brad Keselowski's been good here and consistently been improving as we've come to Richmond more and more in the Gen 7 era. And because of that, RFK is going to be extremely juiced in the Ford prop manufacturer listing. Brad K on DraftKings is plus 265. Chris Buescher on DraftKings is plus 285. Then you have the Penske guys, plus 350 with Blaney and Logano plus 500. I haven't seen anything from Team Penske to tell me that they are worth those prices at Richmond. Have you guys? I mean, seriously. Logano has been bad. Since the beginning of 2023, Joey Logano has not had speed. He did run top 5 here fall of 2023 at Richmond. But for the most part, they just have not had enough speed, especially to open 2024, to convince me to bet on a top Ford ticket at 3-1 or 5-1 for either one of these guys. I mean, what are these lines? It's like we're just taking the bias of the name Team Penske, and that's what we're going with to juice these guys up. I don't think Blaney and Logano are worth this at all. Fall of 2023, Stewart-Haas Racing put all 4 of their cars in the top 12. Spring of 2023, they put all 4 of their cars in the top 18. And I think they had 3 in the top 10. Check right here. Fall of 2023, you had Preece finish 5th, Almirola finished 8th, Harvick 10th, Briscoe 11th. They had 4 in the top 11. Their entire program finished in the top 11. Then you look at the spring. Kevin Harvick finished 5th, Briscoe 12th, Almirola 13th, Preece 18th. And you say, ooh, top 18, what a weird number. Okay, have you seen Stewart-Haas Racing, how fucking terrible they are? Typically, they have been bad in the Gen 7 era. They've been very, very bad. For them to put all 4 of their guys in the top 20 is a win. for that program, considering how terrible they've been collectively. So that tells me they've got speed at a track like Richmond. Now, yes, Chris Buescher won in the fall, but when you have guys, SHR guys that are close, when they're in the conversation, when they're running well, borderline top 5, borderline top 10, I think you've got to consider their top forward lines, because DraftKings Sportsbook, perfect example here. Hold on, let's pull it up. Josh Berry, 14-1. Noah Gragson, 18-1. Chase Briscoe, 18-1. Ryan Preece, 22-1. I mean, this does not require a lot of money. And this could be something that, A, it's fun, and B, I think the probability of it happening is not slim. Stack all 4 of these guys, hope that one of them hits, and you're not betting crazy numbers on these guys. I mean, which I know the chat's kind of blocking the look. You can see him here. It's blocking the betting slip, but you see how RFK is juiced, and you see how Penske is juiced. Maybe you get a scenario where you get a long green flag run, and somebody like a Chase Briscoe, a Josh Berry, a Noah Gragson try to roll the dice and try to get that caution. That Josh Berry got here last year and finished second because of it. You just never know, and especially with Richmond with these long green flag runs, you get one caution, and you will flip the fucking race. And we saw it happen in 2023, and it could happen again. And the strategy is very intriguing at Richmond because of the tire fall off. We've seen it in 2022 with the crazy finishes where some teams did a 2-stop strategy, some teams did a 3-stop strategy. And it was very intriguing because the tire fall off was just insane. And that's what helped someone like Denny Hamlin win spring of 2022. And it almost helped Christopher Bell win fall of 2022 because of the strategy. And you can see that again. There's potential for this race to get flipped upside down. It's funny because before the Gen 7 era, this was a very predictable racetrack. Like, this was always known as a easy track to handicap. Really thought it was because it was a Penske JGR playground. It always was between like 2011 and 2021. And then in the Gen 7 era, it's been wild. And not even just the beginning of Gen 7. Since 2020, we've got 6 different winners. 6 different winners at Richmond in 4 years. That's insane. We haven't had a repeat winner since, I think, Brad Kay or Martin Truex Jr. So Richmond has actually become a little bit more unpredictable, and with the strategy we have now with the Gen 7 and the tire fall off, it's been wild. And I'm not expecting it to be a barn burner this weekend, but betting implications based upon how these races have flowed in the Gen 7 era matter. And this right here, all 4 SHR guys, quarter unit on all 4 of them. I might put a half unit on someone like Berry, another half unit on someone like Briscoe, and then a quarter unit on a Gragson or a Preece. And you can shop around and you will find everybody, these 4 guys, they will all be 10-1 or better. So you're not missing out on a lot depending on what book you're going to take it at. This is courtesy of DraftKings, and I think it is worth a shot for a fun manufacturer bet for the Toyota Owners 400. Okay, that's qualifying. That's manufacturer. Let's get to the Cup bets. Martin Truex Jr. top 5 is the lock of the century. It is the Dale Earnhardt patented lock of the universe. Now, I gave this bet out earlier this week, and I helped move the line. Sorry if you missed that. That's not my fault. That's your fault. I got it at plus money, plus 115 or plus 125. It's a lock of the universe. We're 4-1 on lock of the universe bets in 2024. The only one we lost was because Ben Rhodes kept crashing at Atlanta. And that's my fault for even making a lock of the universe type of bet at a track like Atlanta with it being a fucking super speedway, whatever. But this has been a good bet for us this year. And Martin Truex top 5 is, to me, just a mortal lock. I think originally I said I wouldn't bet it down past even money. I think if you look at Bet Rivers right now, you can get that top 5 minus 118. I'd bet that. Yeah, I'd bet that. I think it's a lock. If it's a lock, you'd bet it, regardless if it's plus money or minus odds, right? Jack Clemens just said Truex is still plus 120 for a top 5 on Bet365. There you go. And not everybody has Bet365. It's very limited in what states it's available in. I haven't even checked 365 this week. But plus money is available on Bet365 if you have access to that. That's why the chat is very helpful. Thank you, Jack. But I would bet minus 118. I will go ahead and say I'll bet Truex. I would bet Truex down for a top 5. I'd bet it down to minus 130. I think it's that much of a lot. I really, really do. Last 4 Richmond races held at night. Truex has won 3 of them, and in the one he did not win, he finished second. Martin Truex Jr., when you think of Truex, you think of certain racetracks. You think of Sonoma. You think of New Hampshire. You think of Dover. These tracks he is absolutely dominant on and has been in the latter part of his career since he moved to Furniture Row, and now he's at Joe Gibbs Racing. The one track that he hasn't crossed off out of the Martin Truex Jr. tracks that he's so dominant on is right here at Richmond Raceway. This is a track he's been awesome at. This track right there, when it comes to his success rate, is right there with a Dover, a New Hampshire, and a Sonoma. And in the Gen 7 era, actually, all 3 happened last year. He won at New Hampshire, he won at Sonoma, and he won at Dover. Richmond's next, and it's a night race. And somebody told me this on Twitter. I think it was my guy, H. Strott. I want to make sure I shout his name out. Remember the whole Mondays are for Martin mantra that happened? Like Martin Truex always wins on a Monday, right? In Australia, by the time the race ends on Sunday night, it will be Monday. It will be Monday in other portions of the world when the checkered flag waves. And he's in the auto owner's paint scheme, which we all know the auto owner's paint scheme has been very good to Martin Truex. Seems like he always wins when he has it. I'm telling you, the mojo, the juju, it all lies with Truex this weekend at Richmond. I would bet the outright down to 6-1, and you can still find that. Bless you. Thank you. Sorry. I'd bet Truex down to 6-1 if I could. I got 7-1. I don't think you'll find that unless he doesn't qualify well, which I think he'll qualify up in the top 10. I'd be surprised if he doesn't qualify up into the top 10, top 12, top 15. But I would bet Truex down outright 6-1. I think it is the best outright available when it comes to a favorite, co-favorite. The books are high on Denny Hamlin, which they should be because Denny's good. They're high on Christopher Bell, who's been close here at Richmond. And that gives you an opportunity on Martin Truex Jr. at 6-1, 6.5-1 to go with the top 5 bet. I've already bet them both. I'm so high on Truex this weekend. I think it's a great bet. And as I said earlier, I'm on William Byron at 12-1. That line is available on Bet Rivers right now, actually. So William Byron 12-1. As I said, Hendrick has not been great here in the past decade and a half, but William Byron in the spring of 2023 and the spring of 2022 has been awesome and has been really, really close to winning. And if he was on the right side of strategy, he would be in victory lane. Him and Truex both have been there, right? Him and Truex in the spring have led 385 of the 800 laps combined at the spring Richmond races since the beginning of the Gen 7 era. And both of them got screwed by strategy. Now, in 2023, I think Byron may not have had the best car, but he had a late race. The pit stop I referenced where Kyle Larson won the race, William Byron's pit crew actually lost him the race on that pit stop, and then he got wrecked on a restart. So, Byron's been in the conversation. I think 12-1 for the guy that just won at COTA, and he's been the most successful winning driver in the Gen 7 era. I think 12-1 is just simply too long for Benjamin Bill Byron this weekend, and don't be surprised if he goes back to back. So there you have it. That's what I got on Cup. Otherwise, I'm going to wait on practice. I'm going to wait on qualifying, but there's a lot out there that I like for the Cup Series, as you have seen on this program. Xfinity, we're definitely waiting for the most part. I'm going to go ahead and refresh BetMGM. I want to see if that Corey Haim line is gone. Let's see here. It was 11-1. Still refreshing. What is going on? Come on, hurry up. XFINITY. I just have to see for myself. He is now 9-1. I would bet 9-1. I would. I'd bet Corey Heim top 5 down to 7-1 because Kligerman is at 7-1. I think Corey Heim is going to outperform Parker Kligerman for sure at this type of racetrack. Good job, guys. Already moved it. Great job. But yeah, it's 9-1 right now. I would still bet that if you could for Corey Heim top 5 in the Xfinity Series. I would bet it down to 7-1. All right. Final segment. We're going to do this together. Why don't we? It's time, once again, for the Tanhart Triple Crown Parlay. Let's go make one. All right. I want to make a Triple Crown Parlay. If you didn't watch Dalescenter last year, this was always a big segment where we would make... Typically, we'd make like a degenerate parlay. This year, I want to kind of tone it down. Like what we usually would do would be doing like an outright parlay of all three, like NASCAR Cup, NASCAR Xfinity, and NASCAR Trucks. We'd make a parlay out of that. Crazy odds. It would never hit. This time around, I'd like to do matchups. So, first one right here. Brad Keselowski over Tyler Reddick. We're going to make a 3-leg parlay. Sorry, chat. I'm going to move you out of the way here. We're going to make a 3-leg parlay. And I'm going to start with Brad Keselowski over Tyler Reddick. Look. We know RFK is probably going to be good. Brad K has been great on the short tracks and getting better and better and better. There's a good chance I consider a Brad K ticket after practice and qualifying, depending on how that goes. I just think 12-1 is a little too expensive for me on Brad Keselowski because of the level of mistake prone that he is and the level of hasn't fucking won since 2021. So I'm willing to wait. But if you want to make a parlay, Tyler Reddick throughout his career has just been awful at Richmond. There's just no other way to put it. Yeah, he had speed last year. He made a mistake. Other than that race, that was the only race he had race speed. And Brad K, just a better driver here at Richmond. Multi-time winner at Richmond. This is going to be the first leg of the Tanhart Triple Crown. Now, I'm a little torn on a couple other ones. Some people would probably like this Buescher over Larson bet. Same theme here, right? RFK, we think they're going to be pretty good. I'm going to wait on that one. Let's go to Xfinity. And we're going to do the matchup I talked about earlier, which is a Riley Herbst over AJ Allmendinger. So we're big on Ford. Big on Ford thus far. And then the third one, man. The third one. I'm really, really considering one of these two right here. Sheldon Creed plus money against Eric Almirola, who's been... kind of disappointing when we consider a Cup guy jumping down in the Xfinity Series. Would have thought he would be running top 3, top 5 every week. Hasn't exactly happened that way. He's had some speed, but not anything crazy. Sheldon Creed's plus money in the same equipment. Do we do that? Or do we do maybe a Cole Custer over a Justin Allgaier? I don't know. The third leg is tough for me here. Could also take an Austin Hill over Jesse Love, right? Got to think about, hey, this is a rookie. Richmond, typically not a great track for rookies. Austin Hill, the veteran, Mr. Find a Way. Maybe that's where we go. The third leg for me, I've been looking at this all morning, and I've been like, I can't figure out what I want to do. I think my gut says Austin Hill. So let's make a Tanhart Triple Crown Parlay. I'll send this in the Dalescenter Discord, which you can join in the link below, whether you're watching on YouTube or Kick. There is a Discord link, the Dalescenter NASCAR Discord. Once we hit 1,000 members, we're giving away a Dale Earnhardt all-over print t-shirt for free. It's vintage. It's from like the late 90s. It's sick. And we've already given one away. He did receive it. It was not a fib. It was true. I did send it to him. The guy's name is Roland. Really excited about it. Loves it. When we hit 500 members, we give away a shirt from my collection. Already did it. We're almost up to 1,000. Once we hit 1,000 members in the Dalescenter NASCAR Discord, I'm giving away another one. So join the Discord for that, and I will post this in the Discord. 5.5 to 1. I think this is where I'm leaning here. I think this is a good Triple Crown parlay. Austin Hill over Jesse Love, Riley Herbst over AJ Allmendinger, and Brad Keselowski over Tyler Reddick. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, in the chat, about this Tanhart Triple Crown. Do you like it? Are you going to ride? Or what would you do differently? It's up to you. All right, boys. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Dalescenter NASCAR Betting. How long did we go? 45 minutes. Wow, 45 minutes. Hey, I'll take a few minutes here. If you're watching live, I'll answer some questions from the chat. Little rapid fire here. Let's get a little rapid fire in before we hit track time. I think modifieds. Ryan Newman. Chat told me last night when we were doing the iRacing stream, Ryan Newman is racing a modified at Richmond on Friday night. So that'll be cool. And then we don't see any actual NASCAR track time until Saturday morning. So make sure you've got everything in that I told you to get in, or anything else that you're thinking about. Pre-practice, pre-qualifying by about 9 o'clock Central Time in the morning, I think is when everything gets going. But if you guys have questions, let me know, and I will go through and answer them. If you don't, be sure to follow Dale Tanhart. That's me, if you didn't know already. On all my social media platforms, Action Network. That link is also below, whether you're watching on YouTube or Kick. That is where you will see all of my cup bets with specific unit allocations. We're absolutely slaughtering the NASCAR Cup Series this year in betting. I mean, just killing it. It's been awesome. We're going to keep it going. All my cup bets are on the Action Network app. It's free, easy to use. You can track all your favorite experts in any sport, not just NASCAR. A lot of big-time guys in the betting world, and we are verified betting experts for a reason. Track us, follow us on the Action Network app, and that link is below on Kick or YouTube. Dale Bird, that's Twitter. Follow me there for just stupid, cold, hot takes, whatever. There's the Dalescenter NASCAR Discord. Be sure to join. Once again, once we hit 1,000 members, we're giving away a Dale Earnhardt all-over print t-shirt, and it's fucking sexy. Don't miss out on that opportunity. Dale Graham for just degeneracy, more of my face. Check that out if you want to. And then Dale Talk, same type of shit, degeneracy. Apparently Dale Talk might be banned here in the next few weeks. They have me shadow banned all the time, so you don't have to follow on Dale Talk. There's no betting shit on Dale Talk because they would just take it down immediately. Because, you know, the way TikTok works, you could be scrolling and you'll watch a video of someone like getting shot 8 times, and they're like, no, that's fine, we'll keep that up. And then it's me posting a video of cars going in a circle, and they're like, nope, got to take it down. Got to take it down. Very sensible. That is Dale Talk, as you guys know. And then GridRival. Guys, it's never too late to join our free NASCAR Fantasy League. GridRival has an awesome season-long NASCAR fantasy game that everybody's enjoying. We've got about 800 members in the GridRival Dale Tanhart official NASCAR Fantasy League. Free to join, and $1,000 up for grabs at the end of the season. And every week I feel like I say this, but I really feel like it's possible to still win it, because I jumped last week. I had an incredible lineup at Coda. I had Byron, Bowman, Chase Briscoe, Logano, Ty Gibbs. I had an awesome lineup, 6-man lineup. I jumped from like 150th in the standings to 62nd. That's on GridRival. Free to play, free to join our league. That link is also below on Kick or YouTube. You can join our growing NASCAR Fantasy League. $1,000 up for grabs at the end of the year. That is GridRival. Check it out. Really, really fun game, fun community, and we're all enjoying it, and it makes the NASCAR Cup Series season a little bit more fun. All right, let me get your questions real quick before we sign off here. Truex to win, Ty Gibbs top 3, and Larson top 10, 35-1. TJ, is that on FanDuel? Is that a FanDuel parlay? Bubba plus 145, top 10 thoughts. Can't do it. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think Bubba hasn't done enough at this track to warrant that. I think top 10 odds just suck this week. I really don't like any of them. Maybe a Justin Haley. Justin Haley, I mean, we got to think about something here. Justin Haley is trending, what, 12-1, 14-1 top 10? They've been fast. They have been fast. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I told you at the beginning of the year, after I watched the Dale Jr. download with Justin Haley, that aired at the end of 2023, and he talked about RFK, Rick Ware Racing, I immediately thought, damn, this team might be kind of good. And they have been. Rick Ware, they're like, oh, Rick Ware sucks. Rick Ware sucks. Dude, they're basically out of Brad Keselowski's shop. So it tracks where Brad and Buescher are good at. Justin Haley is also going to be kind of good. Now, what I'm worried about is them failing inspection. How bad does that hurt them? Because maybe they've been pushing some limits over the past few weeks at Bristol and COTA, and it's made them have better race cars. Getting that DQ is big. But if we're talking about a value top 10, Justin Haley, 15 to 1 on FanDuel, I'm looking at right now. To me, that could be worth a sprinkle. I mean, if they come out here and have speed like their RFK satellite teammates, he could be in a running to be floating around a top 10. And I know that was off of a Bubba Wallace question. Yeah, I hate Bubba top 10. I couldn't do that right now. I think the odds are just not very good. Christopher Bell or Kyle Busch position-wise? Position-wise? Look, Richard Childress Racing has sucked at the short tracks. I would have to take Christopher Bell. But I saw that head-to-head matchup. It's like minus 230. I just can't consciously bet that. Because you never know if one pit road penalty, one caution flips the race, and Christopher Bell, let's say he makes a green flag pit stop with 30 to go from the lead, and no one else pits. He gets lapped twice. He's done if a caution comes out. So you just never know with matchups like that. I typically don't like to pay the juice on head-to-head matchups when it's that fucking expensive. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Bowman top 10 at plus 170? See, I like that. I like that a lot because why is Bubba Wallace valued more as a favorite than Bowman, who actually has had success at Richmond? That's crazy. Crazy. Few top 10s here. I think he's had 2 or 3 in the Gen 7 era, and he won here in 2021, and he's on a roll right now in 2024. I mean, I might sprinkle that outright too, and I hate I didn't talk about that, but I'm glad you brought that up because an outright for Alex Bowman at 45, 50 to 1, I think could be worth it. Absolutely. So, yeah, I like the Bowman top 10 a million times more than Bubba Wallace. Am I betting it myself? No. Just dropped to plus 160. Oh, damn. Denny versus William Byron. That's tough. That's tough. If you can get Byron, if that is a matchup and you can get Byron at like plus 140, plus 150, I would like Byron there. Bless up to Fanatics for mispricing Chandler Smith top 5 at even money. Oh, shit. Nice. Bowman minus 120 versus Bubba is a lock. Okay, I like that. Okay, all right. Guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to DaleTube. It's the only thing I don't have up here. The replay of this will be exclusively on YouTube. And that link is also below on my Kick profile. Subscribe to the new Dale Tanhart YouTube. Trying to make some noise over there and grow that platform as well. Other than that, guys, appreciate you guys for watching. Dalescenter, the greatest NASCAR betting program in the history of the universe. Shout out to the fit. I just realized one thing, too. I got Budweiser in the background. It's just a great picture. Dale Jr., Dale Sr. at Richmond. I think this is from 2000 when Dale Jr. won. But I got Budweiser and Coors Light in the same photo. Is that a bad thing? No. The more beer, the better, I would say. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out the replay and check out everything we got going on. Dale Tanhart on all social media platforms. And join the Discord and join our Fantasy League. Guys, thank you. Be up to date. Follow everything so you can catch all of my bets and my full betting cards after practice and qualifying. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Easter weekend. Have a good holiday. And hopefully we'll have a good, profitable betting weekend as well. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you Friday night for iRacing.